Have you ever been cruising through a lick? Everything feels locked in, and then you hit triplets, and suddenly it feels like your picking hand and your timing are just speaking two different languages? Well, you're not alone because triplets have a way of throwing even solid players off balance. They don't line up the way your brain expects rhythm to feel, and that's why a lot of guitarists end up rushing, dragging, or just plain avoiding them altogether. But here's the thing, you don't have to stay stuck. Once you understand the trick to lining them up, triplets stop feeling like this awkward math problem, and they actually become one of the fastest, smoothest ways to rip through shred lines. That's what we're diving into today, and by the end of this video, you'll have a clear, simple way to finally get triplets under control and make them sound clean, fast, and powerful in your solos. If you're new to me, my name is Zach, and I'm here to help metal and rock guitarists solo better, understand the theory behind heavy music, and ultimately glorify God with their instruments. So let's jump in. Since music is an art form that takes up time, we approach it mathematically with rhythm. We divide music into measures, which are then divided into notes of different amounts of time called note values. Of course, measures can vary based on the time signature, which tells you how many beats of a given value fit into a given measure. For simplicity's sake, let's just work with 4/4 time, otherwise known as common time because of how common it is, but 4/4 time fits 4 quarter note beats per measure. And when looking at more typical methods for approaching triplets, we break the value of a quarter note into three, leading to 3 notes per beat. I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick. And so this ends up being a little confusing for guitarists who are disciplining themselves to proper alternate picking and a proper understanding of rhythm because we are working with an odd number of notes per beat. So let's look at how you pull off triplets in different technical scenarios. So when you're doing just straight triplets back to back, you're alternating between downstrokes and upstrokes when you're using proper alternate picking for each note in every triplet grouping. So it'll look basically like this in a whole measure here of just 4 triplets. And so if you're not familiar with the symbols, the downstroke is indicated by that little arch, and then the upstroke is indicated by sort of a caret looking symbol. And this just helps you know when to pick up and when to pick down. And so the typical method for approaching alternate picking in general would have us make a point to use downstrokes at the start of each of the 4 beats in a measure. Again, assuming we're working with 4/4 time here. So if that's straight quarter notes, each note would be played with a downstroke. And if they're eighth notes, every other note would be played with a downstroke because every other note, starting with the first note, falls on the first part of the beat for each of those groupings. And so with triplets, you end up coming across a little discrepancy with that because it's an odd note grouping. We end up alternating the start of each new triplet between a downstroke and an upstroke because every other note is played with a downstroke and an upstroke. And so this is despite the idea or the approach that every new beat, when you're landing on the beat, has to be a downstroke. In this case, if it's straight triplets in a measure, we deviate a little bit. We alternate between down and upstrokes at the start of each new triplet. And so what helps me with this is accenting the first note in each new triplet. So it'll be something like this. So notice how I'm hitting the first note in the triplet a little harder. At least it's feeling to me like I'm hitting it a little harder. And that's helping me keep in time and it helps me make sure that I'm understanding when to pick up and when to pick down because I'm emphasizing every other triplet grouping between a downstroke and an upstroke. So this will apply in any scenario you're using triplets in even shred sequences, which more and more often I'm finding myself using a ton of triplets. And once you get past this, it ends up being a lot of fun for you to play sequences of straight triplets. If you want to dive deeper into stuff like this, I put together a free gift that I'd love to give you right now called the Shred Smarter Blueprint. And it's all about cutting through the confusion by breaking down the 3 biggest mistakes that guitarists make when they're trying to shred fast. It shows you what to do instead so that way you end up shredding faster and cleaner. You can grab that for free just by clicking the link below in the description or by heading over to ZachSharGuitar.com. So everything I just described sort of gets tossed out the window completely when you're talking about legato now. So before, when we were talking about alternate picking, we had to almost make a choice to decide whether or not we're going to discipline ourselves to the straight up and down alternate picking method and sacrifice the whole method of landing on the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4 beats with straight up downstrokes. And I stand by that, what I said with the alternate picking. But with legato, it's a little bit different because, of course, alternate picking isn't the only way triplets can be played. And we can commonly find triplets in legato sequences. And legato is pretty much just a more fluid style of playing where the notes flow in and out of each other, usually by using hammer-ons and pull-offs. And when using legato, we can maintain that more common method or approach of using downstrokes at the start of every beat, even when using triplets. So, for example, we can use a downstroke to play the first note in a triplet grouping, then add a legato by playing the remaining 2 notes by using hammer-ons or pull-offs. So here's what that can look like. If I'm just going to start with a 3-note triplet here on the low E string, I can just pick that first note using a downstroke on the 1 beat and then hammer on to the other 2 notes. So we've got... And this whole idea can apply continuously if you're using a straight up triplet sequence. So something like this. So as you can see in that entire whole tone scale sequence that I just played in both the alternate picking scenario and again in this legato scenario, where in the latter scenario with the legato, I just used a downstroke to play each new triplet grouping, and that helped me stay consistent to playing downstrokes on the down beats of each beat in a measure, or at least each beat in a sequence that had back-to-back triplets starting at the beginning of each beat. So if triplets have been feeling like a total roadblock for you, hopefully now you can see that they don't have to be that. Once you know how to lock them in, they actually become one of the fastest and most fluid tools you can use in your shred vocabulary. And the cool part is that this is just an example of how small tweaks in rhythm, technique, and phrasing can completely change the way your solos feel. And if you want to dive deeper into stuff like this, don't forget to download my free Shred Smarter Blueprint if you haven't done so already. It helps you make sure you're not committing any of the 3 biggest mistakes that guitarists make when trying to shred fast by showing you what to do instead so that your playing is tighter, faster, and cleaner. You can grab it for free just by clicking the link that's in the description or by heading over to ZachSharGuitar.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach with Zach Shar Guitar. Stick in, keep shredding, and God bless.